friends. That feels so weird. I rearranged my wall once again. I do that like every other week. How are you? Oh, okay. Today I'm doing another favorites video. I said in like my 2020 favorites video, I wanted to do like monthly favorites videos because I'm like, I had so much fun doing this. But then I started like focusing too much on like what I would do for my favorites, and I was like, I need to have like shows and movies and all these things. And so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do like whenever I feel like doing one, current faves. So that's what I have today. We're starting with movies and shows. There are these two lists on letterbox. Okay, one is befriending the lyrical loneliness, and then another is weirdo watch list, and then the other one is when you're feeling a little bit lost. And those, like almost every movie that I'm like, oh, I want to watch this, they're on one of those lists. Also Guillermo del Toro's recommended films list. This past week I've been like, let me do a theme. I was like, you know what, let me like queue up what I'm gonna watch next, because there's times where I'm like, I'm gonna watch a movie, I have time to. And then it's like 30 minutes later and I'm like, I feel like I don't have time to watch a movie, I should just go to sleep. And then I look for something like a show to watch or something else, and then I spend 30 minutes looking for something else to watch, and it's a waste. So I basically was like, let me focus on like a theme for what I'm gonna watch, and it's been that loneliness theme. Actually, there's not any movies on that theme. So this past year, movies that I watched that I really like, Sound of Metal, which is so good. I need to rewatch it. It's about this drummer who loses his hearing. He's just like, how am I supposed to drum and play music? And it kind of just follows how he copes with that. Oh, I watched The Curious Case of Benjamin Button finally when I was in like 2008, I think, when that came out. I just love movies that get all the Oscar buzz when I was little, because that was like how I would figure out what movies are good. Benjamin Button was one of them, and my family rented it from Redbox. My parents thought it was scary because of the old baby. So they were like, no, too scary. And then the next day they were like, it was actually a good movie, you should have stayed and watched it. What's another one? I watched The Matrix, but I watched that literally on New Year's Eve because they were taking it off HBO, and I was in the middle of the second one and it was gone. It was like, sorry, it's not available anymore. I wasn't in the middle. I was like 20 minutes in, but then they put them back on, so I'm gonna watch the second and the third one. Oh, and then last night I watched The Lobster, which is this movie that's been on my list literally since it came out. Really liked it. Really liked it. I didn't expect it to be funny. I thought it would be like serious. And then the last show I wanted to mention is The Queen's Gambit, which I actually watched at the end of last year, and I was just like obsessed. I was watching every like time Netflix put out like a video of like behind the scenes or like a compilation or something like that. I watched all of them. I was obsessed. I am reading the book via audiobook and I'm like one chapter in. Also, The Queen's Gambit, I did that thing where I only watched it because I saw a bunch of videos of people talking about it. Or not like I watched the videos, but I saw them like on my recommended. So I was like, I'm just gonna watch it. Music. I had like stuff written down from the beginning of like, from like January. And then I was like, I'm not even listening to this anymore once I sat down to do this. I'll just list out some songs. Oh, I watched Pleasantville, but it wasn't like one of my favorites. It was pretty good though. Across the Universe by the Beatles, but it was a cover by, it was like Fiona Apple's version. Oh my goodness, I love that. I loved that. I really loved that. The Neighborhood's new album. I'm gonna be honest, never listened to The Neighborhood really, except for Sweater Weather. But I love Jesse Rutherford. But I just don't really pay attention to his music. I love Devin and Jesse. But I was like, you know what, let me live up to this and listen to his music, and this album's really good. My favorite is Pretty Boy and Here We Go Again. That song's literally stuck in my head right now. Okay, everything else I said, I was reading audiobooks on Audible. because I actually only got Audible because I was listening to Lana Del Rey's poetry book. I was like, you know what, I might as well start listening to audiobooks, because I somehow wandered onto BookTube, which is like YouTubers who talk about books, and I'm like, I'm gonna read more, but I like suck at reading. One book I read on audiobook was an astrology book called You Were Born for This. But yeah, I thought it would go more in depth, but it was kind of just the basics, but also lots of stuff that I was like, oh, I didn't really know that. I took notes. Oh my god, it says I'm creative. Oh no, I create beauty and peace. I don't know why I'm acting surprised. I knew this. Speaking of astrology, I totally forgot to mention this for my music. I decided to make these playlists that were inspired by my signs. So cool. I forgot where I got this inspiration from. Oh, because I found this Libra moon playlist. I was like, oh, I should do this for my other one. So I decided to make my own. And so I did one for my sun sign, my moon sign, my rising, my Venus. That's my favorite. My Virgo Venus is my favorite sign, not gonna lie. I also made one for my Leo Mars, but I don't really like to tap into that Leo energy. It's kind of, I mean, when the moment's right, that's an intense energy. Like, I'm all air and earth. Tapping into that fire sign is like really intense, and I can't do that. So I'm like embarrassed to even share it, because that's just like, I'm like, that's not me. What? But anyways, what else? This is the shirt that I got in my thrifting online video. I really like it. I want to do another thrifting online video and include a haul in that one. I think I'll start filming that this week. I got this incense from Five Below, and also the holder, it kind of has like ash on it, but it's really cute. The only problem is I put a little, what was this called? The little clay that you use for like the little earrings. So I put a little bit of that on there so it would stand up straight, or I could like tilt it a little bit, because it was like that. It has this pretty terrazzo, I think that's how you say it, like detail on it. I like to burn them when I'm writing my journal. The brand of them is called Wild Berry, and I went on their website because I was like, let me just order some, but they have one incense stick scent. That's my name, one named iceetas. Isn't that so cool? So I'm definitely getting that. I put in my Protected Week in My Life vlog, put in that I really like listening to those like playlist videos when I'm like doing homework or reading for homework. And I really do love them. And the ones I really am obsessed with right now are not necessarily playlists, because I like more instrumental. It's from an account called Candid Music. Yes, and they do like jazz cafe background music, so it's like you're at a cafe and you hear like the sound of the barista and the sound of people chattering, and I just really like it. It's like I'm in a cafe. That's it. That's the end of the video. It's getting dark because it's getting cloudy outside. I don't know if you can see the difference in the lighting, but make sure to like and comment and subscribe. I would say follow me on my other social medias, but I do not use them. There will come a day where I will use those apps, all the other ones again, because there will be stuff to do and my life will be interesting once again. But right now it's just like nothing going on. Anyways, so make sure to like and comment and subscribe, and I already said that. Let me know what other videos you guys want to see. But that's gonna be all. Bye.